Hey guys, it's December 2023, so I thought it'd be a good time to give you a little bit of a review of how things looked in the Niagara real estate market this past year, and maybe a little bit of a look forward into what we can expect for 2024. That was unexpected. 2023 actually started off with a little bit of pep. There were lots of sales going on, lots of buyers going out and looking in the early part of the year, and we thought we were going to have kind of a normal, traditional, busy spring and summer market. But we didn't. Buyers sort of petered off towards April and May, and now we're quite a slow-moving market, and it flipped over into a buyer's market around that time as well. What might have had an impact on people this year doing real estate? Interest rate hikes. Something that we're growing accustomed to in 2022, and they were still going on in 2023. In January, we had an interest rate hike, which seemed to maybe spark some of that action. But then in March, they held steady, and then we had another rate hike in June and July. So at that point, things really slowed down and we had a pretty slow summer. In September, the first day of school hit, and so did all the listings. A lot of us agents got calls from people who have been waiting and were finally able and ready to list their homes for sale. That ended up being a record number of new listings, and unfortunately, there wasn't the flood of buyers to go along with that. So there was a huge level of inventory and a small buyer pool to look at all these same listings, which then led to lower sales and downward pressure on prices. What happens with oversupply and a lack of demand? Longer days on market for homes to sell and downward pressure on prices as sellers battle it out to try to sell their homes. October had the lowest number of sales for any October in recent sales history. Currently, November, December, still a slow-moving market, and we have reductions in prices abounding. And still, the prices have not hit pre-pandemic levels. Sales altogether, though, are moving slowly. We haven't seen this level of sales since 2001. Now, looking forward to 2024, it's crystal ball time. What are the economists forecasting? Well, CMHC, in their normally diplomatic way, have said that home prices will start climbing again in 2024, but this depends on inflation and interest rate hikes. So those are the factors that we have to pay attention to, and we can't necessarily say what's going to happen 100% with those. Canadian Real Estate Association basically says steady as she goes. They say national home sales are forecast to rebound by 9% in 2024 as interest rates get closer to and eventually start to trend down and housing markets settle back into more typical long-term trends. They're forecasting that the national average home price is set to increase 1.5% from 2023 to 2024. CIBC and my buddy Benjamin Tall forecast that rate cuts shouldn't be expected until about May, June 2024. He does forecast that the Bank of Canada rate might go as low as 3.5% by the end of the year. As long as inflation is reined in, we should be hoping and expecting for interest rate cuts to come at least towards that middle of the year next year. So what does this all mean? What should we do for 2024? I say settle in, get cozy, but don't get complacent. Now, and theoretically into winter as we lead towards spring, is a good time to buy. As a seller, exercise patience for the next little while and be prepared to price realistically in a slow-moving market. Plan for spring-summer and watch if those rates begin to decline. Pay attention to the inflation rate and the jobs rate and watch for signs of optimism. And of course, check in with your realtor. If you're looking to do real estate things, now is a kind of quieter time, and as we lead towards that spring, summer of 2024, if things start to really get on a healthy roll, you might want to get ahead of it. So now's a good time to check in, keep your eyes out, keep chatting with your realtor, and start planning for that new year where things are going to start to get real healthy again. And as always, if you still don't have yourself a realtor, I am one. Feel free to give me a call or go to naomiKnightRealEstate.com and set something up. I'm always happy to chat with you about the market, what I'm seeing in terms of the ups and downs of real estate in Niagara, and whether we should have some optimism going forward.